After taking hundreds of flights, I've discovered that many passengers are missing out on simple in-flight tips that could completely transform the flight experience. In today's video, we'll be breaking down those tips. The first tip is adjusting your headrest properly. You might be surprised to learn that on most US airlines, those headrests move up and down to match your height, and the side wings can be folded inward to cradle your head and provide neck support. I stopped carrying a bulky neck pillow years ago because a properly adjusted headrest works better and doesn't take up space in my bag. I've also discovered that trying to film with two dogs is close to impossible, so we will be supplying lots of treats and keeping our fingers crossed that this goes okay. Under the entertainment screen on the seat back in front of you, there is often a USB charging port. On many planes, you will also find a regular AC power outlet down by your feet. But the real tip here is not just knowing these exist, it's knowing why you should not rely on them. First, many planes only support USB-A connections in those seat-back charging ports. If your device uses USB-C, you will need the right cable or an adapter, otherwise you will not be able to charge at all, which is kind of ridiculous considering how few devices even use USB-A anymore. Second, these USB ports are notoriously slow. They are often good at holding your battery level, but not great at actually charging your device. On one flight, my phone was at 69% when I plugged it in, and it was still at 69% when I checked an hour later. At least it was a fun number. The power outlets near your feet usually charge much faster. But in economy, there are typically only 2 outlets for a row of 3 seats, and they are usually located on either side of the middle seat. So if you want one of those outlets, grab it quickly before someone else does. Speaking of all the tech at your seat, as soon as you sit down, it is a smart idea to quickly test the in-flight entertainment system. If it is broken, which happens more often than you would think, letting a flight attendant know early gives them the most options to help. Sometimes that means moving you to another seat with a working screen, and in some cases, it can lead to bonus frequent flyer points or other compensation. I've personally had this happen where the economy section of the plane was completely full and the flight attendant ended up moving me to business class. The next hack is what I call the bag-in-a-bag method, and it helps you avoid digging through your entire personal item while you are cramped in your seat. Before the flight, pack your immediate essentials like charging cords, headphones, eye mask, and snacks into a small foldable day pack inside your personal item. Once you sit down, you can simply pull out that pouch instead of rummaging through everything you packed. A small day pack is also really useful during your trip. Instead of emptying out your personal item and carrying that around all day, you can just grab the smaller bag when you only need a few things. Quick side note, during boarding, airplane cabins can get surprisingly hot because the air conditioning usually doesn't fully kick in until the engines are running. Bringing a small handheld mini fan can make a big difference and keep you comfortable while everyone is settling in. This little fan is actually one of the most purchased items from my Amazon recommendations. It is inexpensive, tiny, and it works. I include this fan, along with everything else I recommend bringing on a flight, in my free packing checklist that you can download and print. It walks you through exactly what to pack, why each item is useful, and when you will actually use those items during the flight. Trust me, you do not want to miss those. After takeoff, you can also pull your personal item bag out from under the seat and place it behind your legs. This gives you more room to stretch your feet under the seat, while also making it impossible for someone to reach under and unzip your bag without moving your legs, so it doubles as a security trick. Speaking of security, when you stow your carry-on in the overhead bin, try to place it in a bin across from you where you can see if anyone is trying to get into it. If bin space is limited, choose a bin ahead of you instead of behind you. That way you can see it, and you won't have to wait for people behind you when it is time to deplane. For even more space, here is a little trick most passengers don't know about. If you are sitting in the aisle seat, look underneath the armrest closest to the aisle. On many planes, there is a small, hidden button. When you press it, the armrest lifts completely out of the way. This gives you noticeably more space and also makes it much easier to get in and out of your seat. Just be careful not to lean too far into the aisle because you don't want to get bumped by the service cart or other passengers walking by. Another downside of the aisle seat is that you don't have anything to lean against if you want to sleep. But the big advantage is that you can get up whenever you want without asking anyone to move. The window seat is the opposite. You have the wall to lean against, and you won't be disturbed by people getting up during the flight. The downside is that if you need to use the bathroom or stretch your legs, you will have to ask your roommates to move. The middle seat is usually the least popular option with very few benefits. Even if you are traveling as a couple, I personally prefer choosing 2 aisle seats across from each other instead of having one person stuck in the middle. If you want to sleep on a plane, the window seat is your best bet because no one will wake you up to move and you can lean against the wall for support. The most comfortable and research-backed position is a slight seat recline with your legs stretched out in front of you and uncrossed, paired with an eye mask and noise-canceling headphones. Pulling your hood up can also help block out light and movement. Instead of using that thin airline pillow for your head, place it behind your lower back. This helps maintain the natural curve of your spine during long flights and is much more effective at preventing back pain. My grandma also used to swear by taking that pillow and instead of placing it on her lower back like I do, she would put it under her bum. Apparently that made the flight much more comfortable. Speaking of my grandma, I think she would be very happy to hear that wool is actually what I end up wearing to stay comfortable on a flight, whether I'm trying to sleep or not. I'm talking about modern merino wool clothing by today's video partner, Unbound Merino. A recent favorite of mine has been their high-neck crew neck t-shirts, which already made a cameo earlier in the video and doubled as the perfect lightweight layer during last month's trip to Thailand. These shirts do not trap sweat, they do not wrinkle, and they do not hold odor. I can wear them for multiple days, multiple flights, and apparently multiple long, sweaty days in Thailand too. Somehow they still look fresh, which honestly feels like travel cheating. Their crewneck t-shirts come in a bunch of different styles and colors for both men and women. And my partner is gonna hate me for doing this, but I have to show you. The dogs are interested. I'm constantly gifting these crewneck t-shirts to my partner, and it's become a running joke that the gift is actually for me. Because they look so good, and I get to look at them. Scan the QR code on your screen now to check out the crewneck t-shirts and save 10% when you use code MEGAN10 at checkout. I have a feeling that my favorite travel shirt is about to become your favorite travel shirt. Regardless of what you wear on the plane, if you have a jacket or plan to sleep with a blanket, always buckle your seatbelt over your top layer. This allows flight attendants to see that you are secure during turbulence without having to wake you up to check. I also have a non-research-backed sleeping position you can try. This one is a little bit of a stretch, but hear me out. If you are on the smaller or the shorter size, a surprisingly effective tip to try to sleep on the plane is actually to put your legs up and then tie a sweater around your legs so you end up in what I would call egg mode. This way you're just like in a little compact ball and your legs are supported, and I find it to be a decent way to try to get some sleep. Another thing that I've done in the past was actually just use my seatbelt and buckle it around my knees to hold them up, which I would not recommend because looking back, it is definitely a major safety red flag. But it was kind of comfy. Another sleeping position that is common, but not recommended, is leaning forward onto the tray table because it puts your spine in a terrible position and can cause serious back and neck pain. Tray tables are also one of the dirtiest surfaces on the plane since they are not consistently cleaned between flights. Let us know down in the video comments what your best flight hack is. I am always learning new tricks from you. And while you're down there, consider subscribing to the channel so you never miss a video, and it's also a free way to support Ollie and me, and at least in today's case, you are also supporting Ollie's little sister, Bear. Hey, Bear. Hey, Bear. As you can see, she's about as energetic as Ollie is when we're filming. Here is a weird tip that actually works if you want to watch something on your phone or tablet. You can use your sunglasses as a makeshift phone stand on your tray table, or you can slip an air sickness bag between your phone and its case to create a loop that hangs from the tray table latch for eye-level viewing. You can ask for water anytime, not just during beverage service. Flight attendants are happy to give you water between services, and staying hydrated helps with fatigue and headaches. You can also ask for most drinks that are served on the flight outside of the main service, including soda, coffee, and tea. On many flights, there is also a bit of a secret menu that is not advertised. Flight attendants can often make hot chocolate, decaf coffee, or hot water with lemon using instant packets, especially after the main service is over. If you would rather grab a snack for yourself, or if you're feeling a little bit peckish in between the airline's scheduled service, you can usually head to the back of the plane on a long-haul flight and you'll find a snack and water station. I absolutely love making trips to the back of the plane. Also helps you get your steps in. On long-haul flights, there is often a self-serve snack station near the rear galley with the same snacks from beverage service and sometimes extras from meal service. And after all those drinks and snacks, here is what you need to know about the bathrooms. And more specifically, when you should use the bathroom. There's not really a good time, but there are bad times and even worse times. The 3 busiest times for airplane bathrooms are right after takeoff, after meal service, and especially before landing. The pre-landing rush is the one you really want to avoid because once the crew begins preparing for landing, everyone must be seated. That means if you miss your chance, you may not have bathroom access again until you are off the plane, which could easily be an hour later. That would be uncomfortable. To avoid this rush, set an alarm for about 2 hours before landing. This lets you go before most passengers wake up and start lining up. When you do use the airplane bathroom, having your toiletries in a small bag with a handle is a game changer because you can hang it on the back of the door and keep everything off those tiny counters. I do personally love my tripped hanging toiletry bag, but honestly, even a plastic bag with handles would do the trick. And regardless of the bag you use, a quick way to freshen up on long flights is to bring a pack of Colgate Wisp disposable toothbrushes. I've been obsessed with these since I discovered them about a year ago because they have the toothpaste built right in and you don't even need to use water. Genius. And whether you get up to use the bathroom or not, it is important to stand up occasionally or do simple in-seat exercises like ankle circles, foot pumps, and knee lifts to help keep your blood circulating. I'll put a video on the screen now and link it for you in the description where I break down more flight tips as well as reveal some little-known airline secrets. If you enjoyed this video, then definitely check that one out next. Don't forget to hit subscribe to join Ollie and me, and possibly also Bear, back here for more travel tips and hacks soon. Safe travels, and we will see you in that next one. Bye.